Hello there my dear friends and welcome back to another Star Wars video. I hope you're having an awesome day wherever you dwell in this huge galaxy of ours. It is I coming at you once again, your friend and your favourite galactic hostess, Star Wars Meg. And today we've got some huge Star Wars Starfighter reveals, including a new synopsis. Now, you guys know this is the one Star Wars movie I'm most pumped about. The Mandalorian and Grogu I think is going to be a lot of fun, quite low stake, as Jon Favreau himself admitted, but the one that gets me super pumped for the future of Star Wars is Shawn Levy's film, believe it or not. And I'm not some kind of Shawn Levy sycophant or even a big fan of Shawn Levy, but I do know he knows how to make a film on time, on schedule, and filming wrapped back in December, so they're now in the post-production phase. And if you remember a few days ago, we did have that update from the final issue of Star Wars Insider, that we are getting a teaser trailer pretty soon. And this, as well as some other news we're going to come onto in just a moment, is in line with that we are going to hear about Starfighter in the coming months. I know some people were hoping it was going to be on Star Wars Day, May the 4th, but as I've told you guys in the past, I don't think they're going to do anything with Starfighter until The Mandalorian and Grogu is out. They don't want the clash of interest, they don't want fans to be thinking about the next Star Wars film while they're still marketing this one, so I do believe we're going to have to wait a little bit longer, but like I say today, we've got some pretty big updates. We've got a plot synopsis and some character names, but just keep in mind, the source is IMDb, which anyone can edit, and while I do believe there is a good chance these are legit, until it's been corroborated by Lucasfilm, then I would take this with a huge pinch of salt. Sometimes this stuff is just made up, but it's been making the rounds, several Star Wars news outlets and fan accounts have been sharing it, and so I thought I'd give you my 2 cents. So let's begin with the plot synopsis. This is post-episode 9. Shawn Levy says, 5 or 6 years after Rey duels Palpatine on Exegol in the Rise of Skywalker. In a rebuilding galaxy, a solitary pilot becomes entangled in a crucial mission as new threats emerge. Their journey may alter the future of the Force itself. Now just a couple of things to note. Shawn Levy said, this movie is not a prequel, not a sequel, and for all he knows, Lucasfilm is not going to make a trilogy out of it, and so I think it's safe to say it's a standalone. And when fans heard this for the first time at Star Wars Celebration, it sounded like what Shawn Levy was trying to say was, this is going to be quite low stake. Just like The Mandalorian and Grogu, it's going to be an isolated, self-contained adventure. But I'm starting to think the movie is going to be more important for the future of Star Wars than we first assumed. There were rumors at one point about connections to Luke Skywalker through Amy Adams' character, maybe a cameo from Rey, which I think has been addressed and more or less debunked. But this synopsis makes it sound as though Star Wars Starfighter is going to be a pretty huge deal. Disney certainly thinks so. The involvement of people like Tom Cruise, Ryan Gosling, Mia Goth, I believe is going to pull in some huge numbers. But in the story itself, I wouldn't be surprised if this film, despite being a so-called standalone, really marks the start of a wider post-episode 9 initiative. We know about the Rey movie, there are still fans hoping The Hunt for Ben Solo is made, and of course the confirmed Simon Kinberg trilogy. So when the synopsis uses phrases like rebuilding the galaxy or altering the future of the Force, they're not exactly talking about small potatoes. We're talking about potentially an era-defining Star Wars story. That being said, my friends, I did notice similarities in the wording between this synopsis and the summary for episode 8, The Last Jedi on Disney+. And this makes me wonder, is it just a vague placeholder for the promos? Is it similar to what happened with The Mandalorian and Grogu when it was first announced? Is it just a spoiler-free outline? Because I have to be honest, when you read the synopses for the sequels on Disney+, they don't really pertain to specific elements in those films. As an example, let me read you the one for episode 8, and as I'm saying the words, I want you to try and imagine in your head how this relates to specifics in the actual movie. New heroes and galactic legends join to unlock mysteries of the Force. Mystical language that doesn't tell you anything specific about any subplots. That's not even the best way to describe any Force elements of Rian Johnson's movie. Be it Rey's lessons with Luke, Rey's connection to Kylo, Luke's Force projection. I didn't come out of The Last Jedi thinking this movie was all about the villains and the heroes trying to unlock the mysteries of the Force. So why am I saying all of this? To just warn you that the Starfighter synopsis is deliberately vague. But at least it's a bit more specific with certain character roles. Ryan Gosling, is playing a solitary pilot who becomes entangled in a crucial mission as new threats emerge. And based on some of the leaks, the mission involves saving Ryan Gosling's character's nephew. And on the whole thing of altering the future of the Force, I don't even know what they're trying to say with this, but it's a bit like the Mandalorian Grogu synopsis that said Din Djarin's mission could change the galaxy.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
As for this, I really want to know who the villains are, because post episode 9 we have questions that need answering. Are they related to the First or Final Orders? Are they Palpatine sycophants? Is it like the children of the First Order? Is it maybe a Sith cult of sorts? Whatever the answer to that question may be, it's going to be crucial to every post episode 9 movie after it. They need to address the political landscape. Is the Resistance still building during this time? Is the galaxy in disarray following the Battle of Exegol? Is there a power vacuum? What about Force users? Not just Rey's Jedi Academy, but Darkside users? What about pirates? What about scoundrels? What does the galaxy look like? In other Starfighter news, my friends, and this is probably the bigger update, we finally have some character names. Now fans have been wondering, is Ryan Gosling playing someone from the expanded universe? The answer is no. There were theories about Cade Skywalker or Corran Horn. Well, his name, according to this rumour, and it is just a rumour at this stage, is Sabrin Gill. The character's nephew, who's being played by Flynn Gray, is called Kier Sloan. And Mia Goth is playing Alaris Moore. She's one of the villains. Now immediately, these characters sound extremely Star Warsy. These sound like characters George Lucas named for the prequel trilogy. So in that regard, I can definitely see them being legit. Are they true though? I've tried reaching out to a couple of people about this, but no one seems to have a definitive answer. But if it's true, then Sabrin is the name of Ryan Gosling's character. And keep in mind, there are going to be lightsaber fights. Yes, indeed, the Force is a big part of this movie, which kind of took a few fans aback, because initially fans assumed based on the name Starfighter that this was going to be a kind of replacement for Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron. But no, Shawn Levy confirms that there are lightsaber fights. And in these new photos, Star Wars Resistance fans think they've spotted a pretty darn awesome Easter egg. In addition to the ocean planet maybe being Castellon from the animated show, we also see hints of a ship that might be the Red Ace. This was a ship designed by its pilot, Freya Fenris. Would Lucasfilm really bring obscure elements of an underwatched animated show into live action? And not just any old project, the next big Star Wars film. So just some new information for Star Wars Starfighter, my friends. I'm super excited. And if you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, check me out on socials, and may the Force be with you, always.